We're not just having fun in the realm today, we're having fun here in the studio as well. Welcome back to the PPC Qualifiers. Still Finch here, still joined as you all just got plenty of chance to see by Gormizer and the rest of the staff here. And the thing is, not only are we having fun, but we're having a competitive set here, right? Triple Deeps showing up on this last map. I mean, and it's just like Dolson said, everybody stepped up individually and made big highlight reel-worthy plays. But what was it for you that really stood out and turned this around?
Actually, very similar to what he said. It was the Deeps. The Deeps were the ones that were like, all of a sudden, you guys are in good positions, you're getting kills. Cool specifically, I think, was the one who started to get the ball rolling for them. He got a double kill. I think as Kresnik put it, they just stood there as he got that. And it was a lot of kills on his back, the 14 and 11 that opened up the door. But you had actually pointed out while we were watching, Poison's flank at the very end is what seals the deal.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of this tandem, well, I guess not duo damage dealers, trio damage dealers working together that really set them forward and got that push done. Because if Poison doesn't flank there, you don't get the push done. If Cool doesn't get the kills that Cool is able to get, you don't even get to the point where you have the payload. So much of that game was dictated, especially at once the 2-2 happened, by these DPS, that it changed everything.
And that was the play you were just talking about. This flank is so strong. Particularly, he shuts down Vex immediately, right?
Oh, yeah.
And once that Genos is removed, the potential for the Void Grip taken off the table, the healing now removed, and suddenly we're relying entirely on these respawns. Maeve has to come in and try and sit on the point, and there's just no time. I mean, what a truly impactful rotation that he's able to make to the back of that fight, right? And that's what this this composition is supposed to do. Eventually, there's too much to keep track of. Someone slips through the cracks, and then they blow you up.
It does two things really well. It does a lot of damage, in which case you just don't have the healing to keep up with it, especially if you only have a Genos to try and to match it. And it causes a lot of chaos across the map. If the only healing you have is a Luminary Mark from Genos, you're not going to be able to, one, sustain enough, but two, keep track of everything that's coming at you. There's a guy shooting you from over there, a guy shooting you from over there. Someone's going to deal enough damage that you're going to die. You can't take care of them both.
And that's what this composition was finally able to do. And then, of course, they had great play, I think, from Baller Steve as well. I mean, this was just around the group, a really good effort from everybody on this roster. Now the question becomes, can they do this more than once? Because remember, that point cap, I don't know, that one felt a bit fluky to me. That was so quick, wasn't it, that they ran over them? I don't know how many times you're going to do that against a Vocal in this squad.
It was a moment where both point tanks are down, and it comes down to how are your DPS trading? Well, you've got 2 on one side, 3 on the other. And that was actually, I think, one of the first moments in my mindset, personally, where Cool went big for his team. He got into the back and dealt with Invocal immediately. Yeah. And then when the front lines were back, they didn't have the backup they needed in order to control it. So when it comes down to trades like that, which you don't find too often, that's where a triple DPS composition will absolutely just steamroll.
Terminus has now been first picked here, Gormizer. Very surprised by that one for Invocal and the boys. Over Bomb King, over Furia and Genos, who are still left. If you want to prioritize one of those for yourselves, talk to me about what Invocal and the idiots are seeing here.
It's such a good map for him, specifically in Ice Mines. This is one where he was doing really well. You run back again to last year, you look at the Knights, they were the first ones to start pulling it out. You've got Zarini starting to pick it up. And I think he showcased what you could do on Ice Mines with Terminus, and it is control. His Siphon covers enough of the map that you can really kind of take care of the point as well as the side room for your teammates. Of course, his ult Reanimate's always really helpful once you get into the rounds that has that. It's a 6-man on the point. It's a 6-person that you get in a fight. It really does shift things back in your favor.
Rogo's coming through as well. So Terminus, they've got Grover here over the Furia or the Genos. They picked that before the Genos was locked in on the opposite side. So this is clearly part of the strategy, what they're trying to run here. They believe in these picks. As Victor rounds it out, they are sticking with the Triple Deeps on the side of Triple Deeps as their namesake here so far. How are you feeling about both these two drafts?
Actually, I like the frontline pressure. And I love the way Drogoz can flow, but I don't know how he's going to fit on this map. Bomb King, Koga, Victor. Koga's maybe a little more iffy, but this is a good map for him. This is actually one of the first maps where we saw him successful when he was first picked up in competitive play, period. But Bomb King, this is a great map for him. Victor, this is a good map for him. It has a nice flourish of the different styles that you can see on Ice Mines. I think it's Triple Deeps.
Triple Deeps might have this one. Grab a jacket, everybody. We're heading to Ice Mines.
Yes, we are. We're crab raving our way. That's the word I'm looking for. Down to Ice Mines. It's chilly here, but Triple Deeps looking to keep things hot, trying to follow up with their win in game number 2. with another win here in game number 3. We bring up Ice Mines. I think you got to bring up Terminus as well.
Terminus, as a character that we saw a lot of play earlier, I think, right when some changes happened for him, but he's had, I would say, a buff or two. Something that you would, I would think would be pretty good on him now being able to get 75% Siphon back if all the blasts connect. And
I'm okay with that.
Not, well, are you?
That seems all right.
Seems fair.
Yeah, no,
it's already been nerfed for Sands of Myth, but
hey,
I like it.
I think that's okay.
I have a level 63 Terminus or something.
What I mean by that is, I think that's good. Yeah, you have a level 63 Terminus. I certainly do not. So, you know, I'll take what I can get here. Triple DPS. They got it here again. That Koga has worked out for him so far. It's going to be Gogurt this time, adding a Bomb King into their repertoire as well. First blood over to the red side already starting off well. You certainly don't have your reanimate a minute into this game. That's Dosup's down first, and this is where you see what Ice Mines is really all about. 1 kill, 2 kills. It can mean so much in this one. A couple members of Invocal and the Idiot still kind of hanging out around this corner. Just now getting back onto that point is Triple Deeps, but a great start from them.
Looking at the draft, I don't even know if I like the combination of the tanks in the backline from Invocal and the Idiots. I mean, those are good characters in every role, but Terminus kind of wants to push a little bit. Rom is push the champion, and then you have 2 kind of backlines. You have Drogos, you have Shaolin. They're not really going to be following up the way that you want. Even so, opening pick will make it easy for those tanks to move even without that backup.
That's a good re-entry kill there from Invocal. Makes it 2 with 1 more onto Poison. Dosups needs to extend his life a little bit more this time. Has the full charges. That's a good combustible knockback there from Random Noob. Wadu Heckington falls, but they were able to win the early game so heavily here. 84% for Triple Deeps. They still probably got some time to get in here and give this one more contest.
Doe definitely just needs to learn how to play Terminus into triple DPS. You die a lot faster. You have to play your Siphon timing a little bit differently. Doe's a smart player. He will get it very quickly as time goes on. And the progression here in the back. Dragon Strike actually got caught, but 2 ultimates have to be spent and only get 1 Bomb King for it.
They find the Bomb King, though, and that's Kogurt around the backside. Uses the Koga ultimate as well. 3 kills. That's a double from Random Noob on this Drogos, as Gogurt's going to try to extend his life, but Invocal puts his stamp on that one. Invocal and the Idiots, despite going down early on Ice Mines, not something you often see. They're able to come back and get the full cap.
And that's just, I want to say it's a misstep, but it's kind of hard to stop Rom and those characters from being able to touch the point.
Yeah, it's not easy.
That opening pick just too much. Not having that health pool in front of the entire enemy team by having triple DPS, especially on ice when everything is very concentrated into one place, I think led to that first pick. They just didn't have that HP to sustain the way they needed to.
Yeah, I think Wadu Heckington is going to have quite a long year being solo tank week in and week out. He's done a good job of it so far, I think. I mean, you look game in and game out, whether it's Inara, he's had some good games on the Barrack. He's finding himself some double kills as well as the DPS members on his team. So, you know, he's solo tank, but he's doing it well. They're going to get the full-blown stagger on Dosups here. And now this is where you look to really put your foot in the ground on Ice Mines. You can get the full court press in as long as you don't trade out. Anyway, grabbing that one, Rubu rounds the corner and finds the kill. So, not a clean defense just yet from Triple Deeps.
When you can't hold both angles, they're going to abuse the other one. That's what happens. Rubu just mounts in more or less and cleans up all the weak players. Should be a complete wipe here. They just don't want to trade too many lives so they can all be ready to zone and get up on that objective. And looks like a pretty clean fight for Invocal. And I wanted to touch back on that point about Wadu that you mentioned.
Yeah.
He was a player that was he was a tier 3, like sub-PML player, played ranked, streamed, and here he is now, keeping up with these players. I got like huge shout-outs to him playing one of the hardest roles, solo tank in triple DPS, against top players and keeping up, I'd say, completely the whole time.
Well, Kresnik, you mentioned he plays ranked a lot. I imagine he's used to playing solo tank in rank when everyone else is trying to pick DPS, right? I mean, he picks tank early on.
I would say his casual experience matters a lot more for that solo tank than anything else.
That's true, right. At the highest level, you're getting people all across the board in every role. But nonetheless here, they've had a good start to this game, Triple Deeps. They've been pushed all the way back into their base. They've got to come out and try to defend. I guess they don't have to if they don't want to, and they don't.
It is a choice.
You're right.
There's a lot of choices you can make throughout every game of Paladins. That was one of them, but honestly, look at what choices do they have? It's Wadu or nobody, more or less, or they spend more resources that they don't want to do. You can see, though, this Koga, control on the mid was a big part of what they needed, and being able to get aggressive, poke, and get out.
Hello.
A big part of the Koga. Even while silenced and crippled, still just able to melt Invocal from 100 to 0.
Yeah, I love that. Crawls up the wall and immediately melts him down. Invocal and the Idiots, though, they're able to withstand that. Grab themselves a couple of points here. Vex moving himself into the full yellow build. Master Riding, I mean, on Ice Mines doesn't surprise me at all, but I think I've seen that as kind of the, like, third item kind of consistently in this new meta.
I see it second and first sometimes. I mean, look at Doe. It's first right now. It's insane. The cost to value is unreal. It's only 1,200 credits for 30% mount speed, and you can see how far 20% just got Rubu in the back. Almost catching Gogurt on the side here is the Shaw ultimate, but all the cooldowns are up to counter it. They can't find anything.
He's got to try to move himself in. Invocal was so low. Finally, Cool is able to find the flank and get the kill. That's 2 for 1 here with Vex dropping down. Dragon Punch looking for a target. Doesn't connect just yet. Is able to plug away a little bit of damage, but Baller Steve does some killing as well. Random Noob drops down. Rubu, Void gripped up. You talk about that counter so much, and that's a perfect example of it. He's lifted up. Dosup's thinking about it. He's going to actually use it right at the end of that cooldown. The damage is dodged out, but he's right back under duress. He's Void gripped up now with Cool rounding around the backside, 50% aside.
Next with a huge whirlwind from the window, actually keeping Doe alive. Without that, they have no chance to retake, and Barrage kind of spent uselessly into the Siphon now.
Yeah.
They need to find an opening to go in. It has to be Rom, I think, to cross that gap, and it is, but he's gripped on the point.
Well, the tug of war continues, but Cool drops, so does Gogurt. You got one DPS player left. If you're the triple deeps and you're getting pushed out, Poison's able to trade out one. So important, 87% for Invocal and the Idiots. Wadu Heckington has to rocket boots his way in, spends the bowling ball cooldown to get out of range. And this is going to be Rubu trying to just buy his team some space. This one's going to come to a close. And one more time, Invocal and the Idiots grab themselves a mid-fight.
If I was Wadu there, I would just take my hands off the keyboard. I got combustible knockback, it's double knocked up by Rom. I mean, he's basically just floating for half of the game. Huge props to him for staying alive, but not enough to keep him up through the onslaught. Great fight from triple deeps. I think that has to be how they equalize, but good angle control by Invocal. Doesn't really want to find much of anything with it.
What have you seen out? Have you liked what you've seen out of this Terminus so far?
I think so. I think Doe, the first round, no. Doe was just...
He died immediately, the poor
guy. He died
guy.
immediately. He was just trying to get used to how you have to play with it, especially with a Rom applying some deep pressure, but maybe not able to get onto that back line. I think he's been playing a lot better
And a
since then.
Genos.
And I gotta say also, Vex has been doing so much healing. Grover on this map is so hard to deal with, especially since, is he running deep roots? That CC he potentially brings to the table too can be a big deal as well.
That's a 1-for-1 trade. So, at least staying contested here on this payload is triple deeps. You lose Cool, you trade out for Dosups. This is where you gotta really make a stand. You're down 3-0 on Ice Mines, 8 minutes in. You've had some good moments, but not quite a consistent performance in either the defense or the offense. Rubu is gonna look to just stagger out Gogurt here, who's gonna dash his way right back through. Actually into the ultimate's gonna buy himself some time, not able to finish the kill. That's a good power siphon there from Dosups to stay alive, with Random Noob getting a couple of kills. Double, make it 3 from the Victor rather. Good start to this defense from Triple Deeps, but how much can you get? How much space can you lock off from the blue team?
Honestly, I think that was a big misstep by Invocal and the Idiots. They have 2 tanks, but they're both holding the same angle. Cool and Gogurt just walk in the back. They just walk in, everybody backs up into a Victor sightline, and everyone knows how that ends. You're not making it through that alive. Finally, Rubu pushes this side angle with a traded kill, but chain reaction on the Bomb King.
Yeah.
Rubu can't withstand that.
Yeah, the kind of overheal stack you see there at the top of Rom's health bar was full just a moment ago. Full no longer. Rubu's going to move his way back to the payload. This push looking a little bit more difficult than the last one, as Triple Deeps are not going to give up any ground. Gogurt has been an absolute nuisance in this backline. Finally, Invocal and the rest of the Idiots are able to turn around and clean him up. The payload now underway. And Ice Mines, despite kind of a long-winded, long push of a map, can absolutely be converted from this far out, especially in overtime.
Depends on how well you snowball the enemy team and how good poke they have. But two flankers, well, BK's kind of can play a little bit more close range. 2 close range characters, 1 back line. If they can find ways to stagger out this Victor, it'll be a lot easier. And finding an early pick is a way to find another answer, but still 2 immediately from Triple Deeps.
Well, Vex is going to trade the Whirlwind as well. He has to back out of it. With Wadu now rejoining the fight, Rubu stays alive. Such a big health bar, but Baller Steve is not concerned about that one. Now you're just plugging away some damage. And out of range is Dosups. Finally, a point point on the board for Triple Deeps. And maybe a small win. You get the Dragon Punch and the Whirlwind, so going into this next mid-fight, maybe you're in even a better spot.
Especially on Ice Mines involved maps. I mean, this is ultimate the map a lot of the time. You really need those strong one-sided ults going into the fights. They do still have a way to answer the Dome Shield. In Rom's ultimate, they have Resurrect, so even with comeback mechanic, they will have another chance to fight. But what made the reanimate work last time? It was the Whirlwind from the window.
Right.
That's now taken out of the picture because Vex wanted to end the game right there.
And I was kind of taking note of the damage charts just a moment ago. Not surprising necessarily, Triple Deeps towards the top of it. But I kind of noticed Invocal on the Shaolin. Do you expect more out of that?
I would say so. He's playing, I think, almost solely to counter the Koga.
Right.
Just cripple the Koga when he comes in and try to get the answer that way. Maybe even silence if that is what he's running. But either way, playing a little bit passive. And his team, I think, does need that more aggression. And aggression's coming out of Wadu and Triple Deeps right now, but haven't found anything just yet.
There they go. They get the first one right in that moment. They're able to get the kill onto Dosups. They let a couple ultimates fly. Realize actually that they're kind of out ahead. It's the barrage, it's the Dome Shield, through time and space, as well as Koga's ultimate. They have a King Bomb. Shaolin, Invocal, uses his ult as well. Good Void Grip from Baller Steve to lock him down on that one. They have Fast Cap on their side as well. This one looks like it's all over with Gogurt. A nice double kill from him. 97% Triple Deeps. They make good on that setup. Gogurt doing the last of the killing there, and point number 2 for Red.
Invocal and the Idiots had to die faster. They staggered way too long inside there. They played solely on Invocal's ultimate there, and there was no way for them to make good off of it. They were all just sitting inside, and only people who pushed them were a threat. As soon as Invocal pushed, he got deleted.
Yeah, the Heat Haze, a big difference maker there in that one. Random Noob, 55% on his ult. The Dragon Punches, it's a hit or miss. It's a good way to kind of describe them in this one. I think he's hit one and missed one. The Rom ult's going to lock down Poison as he's forced to backpedal here, and that's got to be annoying to play against. Rubu's able to shrug off some of that chain reaction damage and dash his way out to safety. Do use the ultimate. Look at Gogurt here, still around the right-hand side. Already has 2 kills in this engagement. It's going to dash his way out, turn around for kill number 3 as Baller Steve does the most recent killing onto Rubu as Payload is moving so quick, Kresnik.
For sure, and I don't know how they're going to be able to figure out how to stop this. Drogo's not as good in this area. It's a lot of pressure onto Invocal, and we can see he hasn't been performing super well up to this point, so a lot of pressure on him, but Rubu takes some pressure off with the first pick on Cool.
Well, you got to decide what you want to use here if you're Invocal and the Idiots. You already got yourself your 3 points. You can't win the game on this defense. You've got to do it in the next point fight. Maybe if you're able to force something from Triple Deeps, you're happy. The kill on the Random Noob makes it a little bit more difficult, but this one is knocking on the doorstep with 60 seconds left. Triple Deeps on their way to 4 ultimates up. These are some slow charging ultimates as well, but Invocal and the Idiots have some slower charging ultimates of their own. Vex gets the kill onto Wadu Hexington. That's a breath of fresh air. Nobody's going to be left in range. They're going to have to back themselves off. That's kind of the downfall of having that one tank.
Yeah, and it means Wadu has to play super careful, and any push is a hard commitment. You can't make any risky plays really at all, or else your team is going to have to give up a ton of ground. But luckily for them, with triple DPS, with that overwhelming damage, it's so hard for the Idiots to push out. They can't go through that upper choke. They can't go through the lower choke because they're just going to be eating BK damage. They're going to be getting pressured by the Koga. Barrett being gone doesn't limit their damage potential whatsoever.
Well, at this point, with 15 seconds left, this is going to be one last engagement most likely. Either this game is tied, or Invocal and the Idiots retain their 3-2 lead. Rubu, Void gripped up. Not just enough damage, but Baller Steve, the last shot did it. 3 down now. Invocal's able to trade out 1. Overtime is on. Payload moving in, but I'm not sure anyone's going to be in range. No, they are not. This one is tied. One final point fight to break the set tie as well.
Honestly, good discipline from Triple Deeps to not ult there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if they had, it would have been much worse for them. But they knew that things were all right. They knew they would get those
Good
picks,
movement.
just wear them out over time. And the Generals is working out for them because they're playing this natural cover, I think, pretty well. And you're right there. Good movement. Use of the dashes to stay alive. Again, that's Koga's advantage over other flankers. Having that raw sustain, getting energy back from dealing damage onto anything, too. It doesn't even have to be a player like some talents. You can just shoot anything, and you're going to be getting more dashes, more health, more ammo if your deck is built that way.
And this Koga has been a cornerstone of the Triple Deeps compositions throughout this set. So a little bit extra maybe now moving here. One final mid-fight. 15 minutes into Ice Mines. Remember, Invocal and the Idiots were up 3-0 prior to now this set being tied up here. Through time and space, no good. Dome Shield used aggressively once again off to the side. Random Noob looking to move his way in on that one. Rom maybe countering out the Barrack ultimate just a moment ago. 2 kills on the board, and then Triple Deep's already on the back foot.
Getting pressured by the Cyclone Strike, only getting the turn though, and he's even going to be able to res. Barely avoiding the end there, and there might be peel,
Nice.
but not fast enough. Gogurt does get that one trade, but no one else is real live. And are they too forward? Could they get pressured?
Yep, it might just be. They're going to back themselves off. There hasn't really been anyone on the point here yet for Invocal and the Idiots. They haven't been getting as much as you maybe expect. A double kill right when you need it from Invocal to build up the Idiots around him as Dosups throws up that Siphon, and down goes Cool as well. 72% for Invocal and the Idiots. Triple Deeps. They're going to have Wadu coming back from base here. You just need a little bit of separation. Good job maybe delaying some time there from Gogurt. Nobody's been able to get percentage just yet. He trades out a kill. Buys enough time for Wadu to get back into this fight. Overtime is on. That's a low health Barrack if you're able to turn around and get the kill. Baller Steve poises himself. The knockback, beautiful from Random Noob. And Invocal and the Idiots secure themselves the win.
You have to play more careful against all the CC. I think that's on the other side. You have to know that's coming. He's right there. He's staring at the point.
Wow.
Wadu isn't able to rotate in time. I think he had to use his dashes for sustain and couldn't use it to counter the KB.
I mean, that was close, though. I mean, if you're Invocal and the Idiots, you get the win, but you're concerned about points 4 through 6 where you suddenly that game is tied up. Good consistency, though, on that last mid fight to get themselves the win. They go up 2-1, a chance to end this set right after this.